strings, and you get a nice, it's really nice for old rags and things. This is not a rag, but it's, we're going to do Sally Ann Johnson in G. I'm just going to play it through kind of slow and follow along with sort of what the fiddle did basically, and maybe try a little bit of improvisation, but mainly you're kind of catching that little first string. You could use your little finger. I'm using, you could use these and the little finger here, but sometimes I like to scoot up and get it with this, especially the second string has a little. So I'm just going to play through, so you might just practice that a few times. So I'm just going to do that phrase a few times. Back and forth. That's the first phrase. I'll do it slow. 1, 2, here I go. And you might jump into that phrase. The fiddler might jump in early. Back and forth. So let's do that again. And on that phrase, keep that 3rd fret down. And then you're going to have that, keep the 2nd fret down for that phrase. So one more time on that first phrase. And then we're going to come up with a similar phrase for the second part of the A. So 1, 2, here I go. One more time on that first phrase, and then we'll do the second phrase, and we'll have the whole A part, and Arthur Smith does that just one time. Often, sometimes he might do it twice, but 2, here we go, first phrase. So you keep an anchor point, keep it down because you're coming back to it several times. Then it's going to be the same thing, starts out. Then this time it's a nice little variation that goes up. And I might scoot up this. It's going to be 3, 7, 3, 5, which is a little different. So I'll do that ending phrase a couple times. 3, 7, 3, 5, 5, open. You just got B, C. So I'll do. So remember the first time was that, and the second time around. That's the good thing about those great fiddlers. They did stuff, they twisted and turned a little bit different thing every time around. You don't even notice it sometimes. So the whole first part for you one time, nice and slow. 1, 2, here I go. Phrase. Pretty fun. We'll do that one more time. That's so fun. 1, 2, the first part. Second phrase. Okay, and then the second part really gets, he does a lot of slides and holds long notes. Of course, the fiddle has the advantage of the long bow to keep a long note. Mandolin, you'd have to kind of do a tremolo to keep a sustained note, but that's okay too. But the basic melody, it comes up a lot in the second part, this little phrase, which was our tag, our second part tag, right? So it's going to do that a bunch and has one little variation on that, but the main thing is going to be slide to that 2nd fret and hold it, and then, so it's just a little G, what I call a middle reach, the 2nd fret, slide from the 1st to the 2nd on the 3rd, 2nd string, and then the 3rd string, 5th fret. And that, so that's the first phrase. So it's going to do variations of that all the way through, and do the B part twice, instead of the first one time like the A part. So, and you can kind of hit one thing nice about the mandolin or the banjo mandolin. You can hit that low G for a little drone. Wait. So let's try that a little slower and try that low string just for a drone like a banjo would do. So let's do that a couple times. That's the first phrase, and we're going to have 3 more phrases very similar with a few more notes and maybe some syncopation. So 1, 2, the second part. Let's do that again. So that low string helps you keep your timing too. I'm putting that in where I got some room to do it. 1, 2, here I go. The second time around, it's going to go, so it just kind of does back and forth, that second fret to the 5th, the second and 3rd string, back and forth twice, then a little A to the B. So it's like you pick stuck between the 2 strings, down, up, down, right? And it's got an interesting phrase here, it's going to be, so those are those 2 phrases. The second time around it goes. Then you're back that same. Okay, so let me do that phrase one more time. We'll do those 2 together. 1, 2, the second phrase. And then the third phrase gets very syncopated. I'm going to do the first 2 first, though. 1, 2, the B part. Then it's going to start her. Here's the third phrase, which is kind of syncopated. I'll see if I can get it. It's like, so it's going to be 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Let me try that again. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and yeah, that's kind of tricky. 1 and 2, 3 and 4. Okay, 1 and 2, 3 and 4. That's what I need. That's the first measure. So you kind of wait. Then you're going to wait again. So it's going to be 1 and 2, wait. So it's kind of sneaky there. So I'll try that. And if it's not that close, you'll listen to Aaron on the fiddle and get it. So then you have a different thing here. A little different variation there. The last time through, last measure phrase is going to be easiest. So let me try to do all 4 of those phrases. Now to be the B part for us. We'll try both parts. And the chord wise, we'll talk about that for a second too. Chords aren't going to sound too good on this. My strings are pretty old, but that's okay. So the whole B part and see what I can get through. If it's syncopated, if you hit it wrong, people are going to still think it's cool because you're kind of throwing the beat all kind of cool ways anyway. So and you're staying in the same territory. So just act like you meant to do it if it's not what you meant to do. And people say, that was the best variation I've ever heard. So here's the B part of Sally Ann Johnson from Arthur Smith. Nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, go. So try a tag there. Try to make up some little noodle there for the ending. It's always fun, and that's a piece of the puzzle. You can always do something different, and the more you try to do it, the better you get at it. So if you have a dancer, they'll want to have that ending. A nice defined ending, and that tag lets them know that the tune's winding up there, and they can get ready for their big step. Their triple whatever you want to call it, triple flip to the one-legged landing. So the chords of this is just going to be you have a G chord, just have a quick D on the first part, and the second time it goes on that, the second half does a C chord. And of course, that's just the whole A part. So remember that A part, just G, a quick D, and then you G to C and a longer D. So one more time on the A part. D back to G. This time to a C. Longer D. Second part. G. Just gonna have a quick D. Same thing all the way through. Quick D. Quick D back. So that's not too hard. So one thing about when you have a lot of the same chord, you can try different string sets. Your high string, or try a different inversion on the same string sets. And I'm big on those 2-string chords. So if you're doing that, you might go up to that 5 and 7. Hear those. Get the idea. So just try to find the next inversion of your chord there, and you can kind of hear it. It's kind of like just hearing the next, like a bugle would play the notes of a chord. Your G. Try to find those notes of G, B, and D all the way up the string, each string, crossing the strings, and you're going to get all your 2-string chords that you need to play. So anyway, I think you'll enjoy